हाँ
या सो एक तो हमारा यूएस में कुछ अच्छा एक्सपेंशन हुआ और 2 बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स हमको वहाँ से आए जो कि काफ़ी बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है और कुछ हमने 4 कंपनीज हमने लास्ट ईयर एक्वायर किए तो एक हमारा इनऑर्गेनिक इंडिया बिकॉज ऑफ द रीजन वी गॉट इट
4 कंपनी एक्वायर की उनका नाम वगैरह
वो एक स्लाइड सो वन इन लखनऊ, वन इन पुणे, वन इन दिल्ली एंड वन इन इंदौर.
Good afternoon, team GENXA.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I am Mehul Dani from FinTech Business.
Yeah, Mehul.
What is the average IT capex investment into your IT systems and IT infra in last couple of years? And going forward, what will be your approach towards specific investment into systems?
So,
And what are the risk factors that you try to address while serving the customer? There are various kind of risk factors, cyber security, reputational risk, something like that. Please comment upon it.
Thank you, Mayurji. So first, let me answer your question, the kind of investment we do in the capex side of it. So capex, for us, the capex is more around the, what you can say, the cloud infrastructure. We use it for our product portfolio. So that is going between 5 to 10% of the overall, and it's part of something which where we deploy only in the development side of it. So you will never see a kind of growth in capex from that aspect, because as soon as we onboard the customer capex requirement from our end, if they chose to go ahead with our own cloud setup, then we build this on top of that. So our capex investment will hardly be anything, only for the development and the pilot ready purpose. So because we are more into consulting and AI as a service kind of offering, so that is where the capex requirement is very low from that aspect. And where we see in the future, as I said, as the customer footprint grows, like we land with finance use case, but the customer also would like to see sales, supply chain, HR, different what you can say functions to be enabled on our product portfolio. Then accordingly the capacity of the cloud infrastructure will be enhanced for the customer purpose. So it's more from, you can say, pay per kind of use model from the customer perspective, but from our side, the research and innovation, what we do it, this goes between 5 to 10% year on year.
risks.
And the risk perspective, it's majorly risk because it's a talent is the major thing where we have to retain the best talent. So even if you have seen our 3 years trend also in the past, we have seen we could retain almost 95% of our top management team or the mid management team. Because at the below, definitely at the consulting level, you will always see the kind of attrition, and which is the industry standard of at least 15 to 20% every year. That way.
Mr. Agarwal.
Yes, sir.
R.N. Gupta from Money Times.
Yes, sir.
Looking ahead, how do you see global capability centers affecting your business? Are they going to be compatible or competitive? How do you see that?
So
Big investments are coming in that.
Exactly. So that is a good news for us, sir, because as soon as the global competency centers are coming to India from that aspect, so definitely if today I have resource and I have served the global market sitting in India, I might charge very less from that aspect. My margins might not be that great because I have 60% of domestic, 40% of global market in current contribution. But as soon as the global companies are setting up in south
India.
of the part in India, that means they are able to take services within India. So right now, most of the time you might have heard that people have gone ahead with the work from home, 100% work from home kind of concept. But sometimes if the resource is available in India because of those H1B and other visa issues, we are not able to send our resources on site. And just to penetrate, just to create the confidence, where GENXAI work, we work with the top 5 or 10% of the company leadership in any organization. And for that, the confidence will always come when you meet in person, when you just derive and show your face and show that what capability you carry, regardless of the competition with the large consulting firms or the large technology firms globally. So when the GCCs are there today, as per the, if you have seen the kind of market, addressable market, we have around $25 billion only in the industry where we serve AI as a service model for the decision making solution. And that's where more the GCC coming to India, more the growth we can anticipate at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Rakesh Agarwal from GENXA IPO.
Yeah, Lokesh.
Firstly, I wanted to understand what is your revenue model? How do you charge the customers? Do you have a package-based system? What are the minimum size of the companies who can take advantage of your services? And how do you differentiate yourself from your peers, which you already explained? But there are other companies like Dell. They are also offering consultancy. The Salesforce that is also offering as along with its software. So how do you differentiate yourself with them? And also, my next question will be about DLP. I'll just elaborate on it.
About?
Data leakage prevention.
Okay,
That I'll ask separately.
Yeah, that's
First, I would like
okay.
to know the-
Data Protection Act and all.
Yes,
Yeah.
the revenue model.
Yeah, so revenue model, we have, see, as I said, we work in a kind of a software as a service kind of model. So there are three kind of a service offering or revenue we collected. One is the OEM solution which we deliver, large companies which goes with the named user license kind of a model, where we get the license revenue. Second is, along with license, we also have to implement the solution. If we just land with financial consolidation or financial planning kind of a solution in any organization, there is a one-time kind of a service fee we charge just to deploy the solution, which can go from a ticket size of 50 lakh to 5 crore. It all depends on the complexity, size of the customer and all those things. And then as soon as the deployment is done, between 3 to 6 months of the timeline, we get into the support mode. So there are three kind of a service stream or revenue stream we manage with the customer. From a what you can say challenge perspective, what other top companies like you named it, Salesforce, Dell and all, so they deal into different kind of offerings. So when I said that EPM is very niche and very wide space market at this moment, because people are still using a lot of Excel spreadsheet or lot of analytical tool just to take care of where they are and how they are analyzing their performance, either on the finance side or the cost side or on the production capacity point of view. All those different KPIs they just track based on certain tools which are available. We work on top of those tools because we just map their strategy and vision to the execution. So they have been in the business for 30 years, but they want to reach where they were in 30 years. They want to achieve 5x of that in 3 years. How will they go? How will that 3 years should go? There they need a technology platform. That technology platform GENXA provides, and using the AI blend in that, which we have the generative AI and the agentic AI combination, we are actually giving them more capability to take right decision at a real-time basis, as well as with the single truth of system without having any dependency on the manual way. So that's very important. And the other question which you talked about, the data leakage prevention. Data leakage prevention, because see, the offering we have on-premises and cloud, both kind of offering we have. So in the cloud, if you have lot of large cloud companies already built in their multi-level security layer, and you just need to bring your own key kind of a concept to encrypt or decrypt data while the data is moving from one place to another place, one system to another system and all. But we also provide we also work with the PSUs in India, and for that they can't host their data on any of the public cloud. They have to maintain the data within their data centers, and for that we provide our solution with the complete secured layer. And lot of technologies which have come in recent last 5 years, you have seen they are not open to host their application within the customer data center because they want to promote cloud infrastructure only. But we have seen, considering the current geopolitical situation and all, you can't just be adamant to host application and customer data on the public cloud. Something like that, we have both kind of offering. It all depends on customer to customer how they want to take this for our kind of a service offering. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Sir, since today is your IPO, this thing, so which are the areas you're looking for from your side as growth? For your growth and
So from growth perspective, as I said, see, if you see the industry report, the market potential, I'm not talking about where the agentic AI and AI will go. That the reports can show you $5 trillion market available, total market, serviceable market and all. I'm not talking about that TAM, SOMs and kind of a things. I'm just focusing on EPM for last almost 2 decades. I myself is a industry expert from the EPM perspective. So I'm a subject matter expert for where your finance, sales, supply chain, HR can club, and you can take a decision whether you should invest into this area or how will you grow. how, because your growth will depend that on the decision. Right decision, if you don't take, your growth will impact. And if you are a public listed company, your growth is attached to the public also. So you can't take any wrong decision. So if you want to take an informed decision or a right decision, which will actually contribute into your growth in a positive sense, that's where you need GenXai kind of a company. So the growth, as soon as the companies are able to understand that instead of having a traditional way of using software services, they also need industry experts who understand the mapping the strategy and vision with the execution, then we can do it. So from growth perspective, if you see, we are having 60% contribution from India. Right now we work, most of the companies are the enterprise customers, which are $1 billion plus. Why? Because there the problem is more, complexity is more, and there is a need of those kind of services and solution just to manage a lot of things in a one single platform. Now the kind of solution which Sharad just talked about, the three big offerings in the agentic AI layer, the Advico AI advisory collaboration app, the app which we are launching, or we have already launched 6 months back, you can see that will help not only the enterprise but the SME and MSME market. Because even if you just talk about, lot of companies are still using the pirated software. They are not coming out from using the original software, and they're taking value of the services and support what OEM can provide and what solution provider like us can provide. So for that, there are a lot of solutions now we are bringing with the blend of our expertise, global technology companies, and putting up in the India with the SME and MSME market. And that's a big market, believe me. That's almost 7 crore plus MSME registered companies, and you can imagine where we can grow. Today we are hardly present with 100 customers, and the kind of customer base only for the services we do is global Fortune 5000 companies, you can say. They all are leveraging those solutions. So we have very long way to go where we are and where we can reach in 3 years down the line.
So there are many players in this with you. So how you differentiate yourself among them?
See, differentiate means the competition was always with the large consulting and GSI companies globally, not only in India. Reason being because even today, very less people focused on this kind of layer, which we call it as a EPM, because nobody wants to work with the less. Everybody wants to work with more, where the volume is. Volume is more where the transaction is there. We don't work on transaction. Once the transaction is there, you have terabyte data, petabyte level of data. Now you have available, but how to process that data? What will you do with that data? Very less players are focusing because the margins are good, but the volume is less. And in that segment, if you see, compare us with the large consulting firm, in the RSI, regional system integrator point of view, we are the leaders in that particular domain. So there will be competition in coming days, but as I said, we are always ahead in the curve. When people were talking more about ERP and analytics, we talked about EPM. So that's why we could get the first mover advantage and led this particular domain in last almost a decade now. Okay. Similarly, when people were not even talking about AI as a service model for the EPM, people always talk about transaction. You can use the content management. For there are almost 1,000 AI application at this moment. One application can solve one problem. But with the kind of EPM layer we talk about, we always work in the enterprise mindset. That 50 different CXOs, where they think, how do they, because not every company can afford the big consulting firms. Okay, because their budgets are limited, but they also have an aspiration to grow, like we have an aspiration to grow. That's why we got into this public domain, so that people understand that the small companies can also grow big if they adopt the right set of technology at the right time. So that's the kind of thing which we are driving. So competition will be there, but since we are always taking the advantage of moving ahead, taking some what you can say the best practices adoption from the global perspective, putting it into the India market, that's giving us an edge on the other competition as well. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
3-4 years back, we started our US journey. Then last year with the Southeast Asia, putting up entity in Singapore. Now we are also planning to expand either in the Middle East market or the North Africa market once the things are settled down on those reasons.
And what are the major targets for next 3-5 years?
3 years, the target will always, like we have been maintaining 30% CAGR year on year. We would try to maintain the same, or we will grow it based on, and right now the heavy contribution is coming from the services revenue and the product side revenue is less. So we will focus that how we can have a 60-40 or 70-30 contribution from product and services mix. Like that. Yes.
Sir, markets are very volatile. Many big IT companies have also postponed their IPOs. So there can be a concern and questions about timing of the market that you are hitting at particular time. Can you explain your rationale?
100%, sir, and I'm thankful to you. You asked this question because that's where we lead into. Why do you need a right decision making? Think from the management perspective. You planned something in March last year, last financial year. You thought of Jan, Feb, March. You thought some target, and immediately 28 Feb you heard that US-Iran war happened. Your all forecast, all projections went wrong. What should you do now? If you have maybe 5,000 people company, you have 50 different products, 500 different brands, 50 different locations, the big complexity, all your program, because nobody thought of that 28 Feb this will happen. So suddenly you have to backtrack all your, because you have already planned your cash flow. Based on certain projections you have done, you have managed in December, and for Jan, Feb, March quarter you have decided that. That is where GenXai plays a big role, because we always support management to take bad decisions, and if you anchor this kind of a position, this kind of a situation, how to deal with, how to respond. That's why for us, this kind of a situation is the best situation to give the message to those companies that GenXai is there to support your decision making without impacting your growth targets. So if you want to target something, but because of some geopolitical situation, the factors which might impact your decision, you are not able to see your future, where you should invest, how you should invest. Those decision making layer was our core offerings for last so many years. That's why for us, this is the right time. That's what I believe, but my merchant banker can answer better from the timing for opening up IPO and all. But this, I believe that we lead into this kind of a domain only with the very dynamic and volatile things. When this is more, our business will always grow.
And definitely, sir, as you rightly pointed out, various IPOs have been deferred because of the capital market condition. But if you see lately in last couple of weeks, only the SME IPOs have been outperforming. So we believe that this is a crucial time for them to get listed. Yes.
Thank you all for your valuable time and presence and participation today. On behalf of the company GENXAI Analytics Limited and Choice Capital Advisors, we sincerely appreciate your time and support. We now invite you to join for lunch.
Photo.